Hey, Pastor Scott here with the Weekly Word. We're taking this month to look at this topic, speaking of Jesus, based on a book I've been reading. And today we're talking about being Jesus. And in Mark 3, we're going to look at two different stories where he radically heals someone against religion's rules and against their desires and making religion angry. But in this part about from Mark chapter 3, verse 1 through 5, we see him heal on the Sabbath. And here's the story. It says, "Then Jesus left them and he went again to the synagogue where he encountered a man who had an atrophied, paralyzed hand. Everyone was watching Jesus closely to see if he had healed the man on the Sabbath. It's a no-no, giving them a reason to accuse him of breaking Sabbath rules by healing a broken person," right? Jesus said to the man with the paralyzed hand, "Stand here in the middle of the room." You think he's kind of just, I don't know. He's making a spectacle of the enemy's infiltration into following God by the enemy just trying to make rules the God. It says, "Then he turned to all those gathered there and he said, 'Is it against the law to do evil on the Sabbath or to do good? To destroy a life or to save one?' But no one answered him a word." What are you going to say? Then looking around at everyone, Jesus was moved with indignation and grieved by the hardness of their hearts. So he was upset that they were obviously so tied into rules and religion instead of like a loving God. And he says to the man, "Now stretch out your hand." As he stretched out his hand, it was instantly healed. So we also read this story in John chapter 5 of Jesus healing a paralyzed man at this pool in Bethesda. And the waters would stir, and then you get in the water, and the first few that get in the water, you get healed. And this man could never make it in the water in time, and he'd been there his whole life basically. And so Jesus goes up to him, been crippled for a long time, and he said, "Do you really want to be healed? Do you really want to be well? Do you want to be made whole?" And he said, "There's just no way. I can't ever get in there fast enough." So Jesus says, "Stand up, take your mat, and go home. You are no longer paralyzed." Instantly, he was healed, and he rolled up his mat, and he walked away. And then this guy gets questioned by religious leaders. They're like, "What happened? Who did this?" And he's like, "I don't know. I just know that I couldn't walk, and now I can, so I'm out," kind of thing. But then it says, this is interesting to me, verse 14 of John 5. "A short time later, Jesus found the man in the temple, and he said to him, 'Look at you now. You're healed. Walk away from your sin so that nothing worse will happen to you.'" You see, you need to live right, he's telling him. You gotta do what is good and healthy for you. So are you looking for those Jesus opportunities to reach people where they are, whether they're broken in spirit or broken in body or just broken in their beliefs? Are you looking at them and looking for opportunities to just give Jesus away where they need it most? They're lost. They're bound for a Christless eternity, and you're just looking to give them Jesus, not rules. Are you looking for those opportunities? And then are you willing, just as a part of the journey and loving them, to then, as they begin to follow Jesus and say, "Okay, this is the guy, this is the God, this is the Word became flesh that I'm going to follow," are you willing to say, "Hey, and let's change your lifestyle now. Now that you follow Jesus, let's change your lifestyle. Don't get healed before you go to the doctor. Go to the doctor, get healed, and then begin to live right." That's what we're seeing here. It's compassion for where they are and action for what they really need, and then commitment to them. Do you bring life and hope to those who need it most? And I was hopeless and I was truly lifeless, and good people brought me life and hope by saying, "Scott, Jesus is the only one that can heal you. He's the only one that can change you. Even if circumstances don't change in some areas, you need Jesus." And so I started following Jesus. And then as I did, I learned more about him, and I read the Gospels, and I fell in love with Jesus, and I began to try to live my life to become like Jesus and do what he says. Ultimately, he says, love me, love God, and then go and love people where they are. And with that, you'll fulfill the greatest commandment possible. Everything is summed up in that. And then just look for opportunities just to be Jesus for those who need him most.